Hi, my name is Miguel Teixeira, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will dive deep into the tactics of Sporting under coach Ruben Amorim, focusing particularly on the team's offensive dynamics. Sporting typically sets up in a 1-3-4-3 formation, which can shift into a 1-3-2-5, depending on how far up the wingbacks push along the flanks. In this image, we can see the beginning of Sporting's build-up phase, where the team forms a 3+2 structure. The three central defenders initiate the possession circulation, supported by the two central midfielders, who position themselves between the opponent's first and second line of pressure. In this image, we can see how the opposing team attempts to block Sporting's progression through the center. The forward, along with Porto's midfield three, forms a diamond shape to create numerical superiority in this zone, aiming to neutralize one of Sporting's main strengths. As a result, Sporting had to adapt, and in the initial stages of the build-up, the team focused on exploiting the wide areas to create imbalances in the opponent's defensive organization. Let's take a closer look at one of Sporting's common dynamics after the ball is played out wide. Here, we frequently observe what I call complementary movements. These involve a support movement and a breaking movement, creating confusion for the opponents about which player and space to defend. In this case, the offensive midfielder moves to support and draws the attention of the opposing fullback, while the striker makes a run in behind to exploit the space created. As the play unfolds, the striker takes advantage of the uncertainty created for the opposing fullback and successfully receives the ball behind the defensive line. Gyökeres is particularly effective in these runs, using his pace and ability to hold up the ball, allowing his teammates to advance into more attacking positions, thereby providing Sporting with continued offensive momentum. Now, let's observe the same dynamic on the left flank, but with a different outcome. The wingback receives the ball outside the opponent's block, and we immediately see the usual complementary movements between the attacking midfielder and the striker. In this case, the striker's breaking run draws the attention of the opposing defenders, causing them to drop deeper to protect the space behind them. This inside to outside movement pulls the defenders away and creates space for the attacking midfielder to receive the ball inside the opponent's structure, putting Sporting in a strong position to attack the final defensive line. Understand the opponent's concern in blocking passing connections through their defensive structure. The opponent forms a diamond with the forward and the midfield line, with the central midfielder on that side stepping out to press Sporting's central defenders. Meanwhile, the wingback positions himself lower on the field to cover for the central midfielder who has stepped out, thus protecting the central corridor. Sporting again advances down the flank, but struggles to find the right timing to accelerate the play. In such cases, the central midfielder, or even the central defender on that side, becomes crucial in providing security support to the ball carrier. With the opponent effectively closing down the central corridor, Sporting opts to quickly switch the play to find advantages on the opposite side of the field. After the ball reaches the wingback, we see a new dynamic on the flank, this time in higher areas of the field. This time, it's the attacking midfielder who makes the inside to outside breaking run to exploit the space behind the opposing fullback. This movement pulls the defender out of position, and Morita, Sporting's central midfielder, gains the freedom to advance and provide support behind the opponent's midfield line. Now, let's see a new strategy from Sporting to break down the opponent's defensive block. Sporting circulates the ball, And when they can't find immediate solutions for progress, the team is comfortable maintaining possession to tire out the opponent and look for new opportunities to speed up the play. This time, when the central defender receives the ball, the wingback stays high on the field instead of dropping back. We can observe what I call opposite movements on the flank. The attacking midfielder drops towards the goal to attract the opponent's pressure, while the wingback moves in the opposite direction to exploit the space created. These movements are crucial for Sporting to create a 1v1 situation on the flank, particularly on the right side, where they utilize a winger capable of exploiting these situations, either by cutting inside to use his stronger foot or driving towards the byline to deliver a cross. In these last two clips, we'll observe two tactical variations used by Sporting when the team circulates the ball in higher zones. First, let's look at an example where Sporting momentarily sets up in a 4+1 structure. One of the midfielders drops deeper to join the defensive line, allowing the team to stretch the width with the two outside center backs. This movement forces Porto's forward and interior midfielder to step out and press the deep midfielder and central defender, respectively. This creates space for the wide center back to receive the ball and drive the play forward. As the center back progresses with the ball, we can clearly see the striker and opposite attacking midfielder maintaining a constant threat behind the opponent's defensive line. The goal here is to destabilize the backline and simultaneously push them deeper into their own half, opening up space between their lines and between individual defenders on the ball side. When Sporting struggles to progress offensively, we notice a consistent pattern the team uses to break down these lower defensive blocks. The ball side midfielder acts as an offensive cover for the ball carrier, initiating a sequence on the opposite flank. This backward pass, which often signals to the opponent to push their defensive block higher, also triggers the attacking midfielder to start a breaking run. This movement provides an option for the ball carrier behind the opponent's defensive line. However, as in this case, it can also serve to draw the center back or even the opposing fullback inside, freeing up space for the wingback to receive the ball on the outside. Now, to wrap up, let's look at an example where Sporting sets up in a 3+1 structure, with Morita pushing higher up the pitch to join the two attacking midfielders as support options behind the opposition's midfield line. When the ball reaches the wide center back, we can again observe opposite movements down the flank. The attacking midfielder moves closer to the ball carrier, dragging the opposing wingback and creating space in behind for the winger to receive the ball in a 1v1 situation against the fullback. Double option for the ball carrier. The striker makes a breaking run to attack the space between the fullback and the center back, while Morita accelerates to exploit the space between the lines and between the center backs, generated by the striker's run. Though the opponent manages to block Sporting's progression, the team remains calm, retaining possession and settling in the opposition's half. After provoking once or twice down the right flank, Sporting demonstrates its ability to escape pressure and quickly switch the play to speed up the attack. Now, with the ball carrier in an open situation, we see Morita again positioned between the lines, offering yet another solution in that space. At the same time, the closer proximity of players in this zone allows Sporting to combine through the opponent's block and accelerate the play. Also, take note of the number of Sporting players in the final third, not only during the creation phase, but also when stepping into the box to finish the plays. And if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.